Hey people of all gender, we are back. Well, I am back with another video, and the framing for it is not perfect. I try to get better at it through time, but it's just hard. So bear with me, please. The theme for June, because it was June 2019, was Pride, because I had undone a Pride month before, and June is Pride Month, so it just made sense to have one. So I did Pride Month, I installed my dreads, and I went to a Pride parade. And it was nice. I usually don't like crowds and parades and manifestations and just walking in the crowd for hours on end. I just hate it with everything I am. But it's important because it's pride, because it's being queer, and it's about being proud and about not being alone. And I am a pretty alone person, and usually I'm fine with it. But I'm also a pretty weird person that is rejected for everything. And being in a pride parade just has the importance of being the same as all other people, which never happens, to be honest. I'm weird, I'm neurodivergent, I'm queer, I'm introvert and antisocial, and I'm not liked. I can be a little harsh, and that means that all of that means that I'm not very liked, and I'm not very accepted, and I often feel like the world is not meant for me, and I am not meant for the world, in a way that we just never get along, which sucks a lot because it's just unfair. I belong in this world too, even if I'm weird, even if people don't like me, and I struggled with that for a long time. Not gonna lie. To be honest, it's still hard. That's why I spend most of my time just inside and avoiding people, and usually it works for me, so it's okay. But it's still hard because every time I try to work when I really need money, I go to work like any normal poor person. And what sucks in it is that I have to fight and work 10 times harder than normal, fit in normal people to just deserve the same. And it's usually pretty hard because fighting against something that you know you can't win, and fighting against injustice and unfairness, it just drains you, and it just eats at you forever and ever. Like, my colleagues will get away with stuff that I could never get away with, just because I already have to hide and to work around everything that is not pretty, that people don't like about me. Like, I'm in a lot of pain usually, so that means that I have to cover up my pain and push for it and pretend it doesn't exist in a way. So everything that I do is just powering through it, and then there is my colleague right outside that does crap like going to the toilet 15 minutes before the break or stuff like that. And I know I could never get away with that, but she does, because she doesn't have to push through the pain, she doesn't have to adjust her work or get slower sometime and just make the world slightly harder for herself, so she gets away with it. And yeah, and it sucks, and that's one of the reasons why, even if I could go to work again because my health gets better, I probably will not, because it's just not worth it. It's totally not worth it for me. it makes me very unhappy and miserable, and being outside in the world just screams back at me that I'm weird and that I don't belong there. And the only way to not have that is usually to focus on being with people that are a bit like me. And that means going on Tumblr, and that means going to Pride Parade, and only hanging out with neurodivergents like me, and doing Gish or stuff like that. They will never share all of my weirdness and quirks and differences, but walking in a Pride Parade, I feel I'm surrounded by other people that have gender issues, and difference and gender identities that are just not fitting in the mold, or are not attracted to the people they're supposed to be attracted for cis-hets, and it's okay. It feels like a belonging. So even if I hate crowds and they make me uncomfortable and they make me feel alone, it's still important that I go. So I went again and again. So I'm still powering through. It's still hard, and in the past 2 years I haven't gone, and frankly I don't really see the difference. I don't see it being better or worse. It's just different. Frankly, during the pandemic and the quarantine and everything, it's just not a priority. And I discovered that I'm not that unhappy about it, but overall I'm still trying to connect with people that are a bit like me, so I don't feel so alone. Every time I go out, I see people that just don't wear masks or don't care about me or decide that rules don't apply to them, and it depresses me even more, so I just don't go out anymore. I know I have a good excuse to do so, which is great. Somehow I kinda like the last couple of years more than I liked the years before that, because now I finally have a disabled recognition by the state, so I don't have to work anymore, which is fucking great. And yeah, it's my life is changing, and I'm connected to the world in a very different way now, but I don't think it's a bad one. So yeah, I'm different now than I was 2 years ago. I wanted to connect with people, so I went to the Pride Parade and almost died from the heat stroke, and it was great because I met someone and I went with my friend and I connected with people that were weird too. So yeah, happy Pride, even if in a little early or a little late. I hope you are still very, very happy of being yourself, and I hope you're going to be okay in this pandemic, in this fucked up world where no one really accepts us. Love you!